Good morning, good afternoon. My name is Essie, and you're most welcome to my YouTube channel. If it's your first time, please you must subscribe. If you've been here before, thank you so much for coming back. And please, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe, like, and share my videos. Like I said, my channel shall talk about almost everything. Whatever I know, I'll share it with you. Whatever you know, share it with me. Like I said, I believe in sharing. So always share. Okay, so today we have another exciting topic we're going to talk about today. And it's something that is most of us have ever experienced. I particular have ever experienced this one. So I have experienced that, so I know what I'm talking about. So today we are going to talk about emotional abuse. Yes, emotional abuse. So what is emotional abuse? What do you know by emotional abuse? I don't want to go back, but we are going to share. Like I said, I believe in sharing. So as usual, I have my book with me. Emotional abuse. Sorry about that. I had to clear my voice. I had to clear my voice so that you'll be able to you know now. Emotional abuse is the way of controlling another person by using emotions to criticize, embarrass, shame, blame, or manipulate another person. Manipulate another person. You who is looking at me, how many times have you done that? How many times have you used emotions to manipulate someone? How many times? So many times. So like I said, most of us have experienced this one, but maybe we tend to overlook it and you're like, maybe, and we just think it is okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. So please, there's something that we need to address. A friend is going through this, a sister is going through this, a brother is going through this. It could be at work. Emotional abuse is everywhere, by the way. It's in relationships, it's in marriage, it's in dating, it's in families, it's at work, everywhere, in friends. So everywhere emotional abuse is there. In other words, a relationship is emotionally abusive where there's consistent pattern of abusive words and bullying behavior that wear down a person's self-esteem and undermine their mental health. Mental health. We'll talk more about that in the next video, or I'll take time and do a research, and then I'll come back to you when I have more to share with you about mental health. But for now, as you've seen, emotional abuse tears down a person's self-esteem and mental health. In most cases, a victim is always finds herself or himself asking questions. What did I do? Where did I go wrong? They're always blaming themselves. Because they always think they are the ones who are in wrong. That is a victim. But the abuser is the one who's always wrong. But for them, they think they're okay. They think they don't see a need because these are abusers. So like I said, for them, they just use their emotions, and in most cases they use your fears. If you're in a relationship and this particular person knows that you really love them, you care about them, then they will use that and then, oh wow. Anyway, I don't want to do what. Emotional abuse is everywhere. Yeah, like I said, it is everywhere. It is in marriage, it is in friends, it is at work, it is in families, it is in dating. It is everywhere. Emotional abuse is one of the most hardest form of abuse to recognize. I'll repeat that one. Emotional abuse is one of the most hardest abuse to recognize. If you have never experienced emotional abuse, or if you're experiencing emotional abuse and you don't know, it is the most hardest abuse to recognize, and it will take you time to know that you are emotionally abused, unless if you take in, and you, as we go through, you understand how these things, how you tell that you either emotionally abused or not as we go along. So the ultimate goal of emotional abuse is to control the victim by discrediting and isolating and silencing. If someone is, those are the most three, those are their ultimate goals, is by controlling you, is by discrediting you, isolating you, and silencing you. Now know that you are in that state of being emotional abused. So how do you know that you're being emotionally abused? That's a question that I know you're now already asking yourself. How do I know that I'm emotionally abused? It took me time to realize that I was emotionally abused. It really took me time, and it took me time to overcome. It. So most of you people will look at someone, they will look at this. A person will give you what you want to see. Not everyone will share with you their pain. No. People are going through a lot, especially when it comes to those things that you cannot see. The inner things that you cannot see. People are going through a lot. I'll come to you with this smiling face, with this beautiful face, with this beautiful look, with, things, I'm smiling, I'm okay, because I'm giving you what you want to see. But if you go deep down, if you decide to go deep down and dig deep, what you will find, you will not like it. So emotional abuse, this is something that is not seen. It is something that is hidden. You will not see that in a person. Other person will not display that to you, unless you take time and look beyond what you're seeing here. That's when you'll be able, and you sit down that person, because not everyone is comfortable talking about what they are going through. Not everyone is comfortable, and not everyone is willing to share. Some of them, they are diehard. Let me use that word. They think they are diehard. By the time someone reaches a point of breaking, like opening up to you, just know that person has reached that breaking point. They really need help. So like I said, share. So someone, there's a lot that you're going through. If you don't open up, you explode one day. Let me use that word. One day you will explode, and we don't want that. So please, I know we have so many friends, but not all the so-called friends are friends. No. Bump into someone. I remember the time I was emotionally abused. I remember I went to a salon. I remember very well. I went to a salon that evening. I went to a salon I've never gone to. There's this lady who worked on my hair. I found myself talking to that lady. It was my first time in that salon. I didn't know that lady, but I found myself talking to that lady, and it really, really, really helped me a lot. It really helped me a lot. From that time, that lady became my friend. Because I just bumped into her. I just entered the salon. I wanted to do my hair. But from nowhere, I found myself talking to that lady, opening up. So if I say that, get someone to talk to. If you're not comfortable sharing that information with your friends or your family members, go somewhere. you get someone to talk to. Bump into someone, you get that person to talk to. But just open up. We continue. So how do you know that you're emotionally abused? Now, like I said, it's very hard to detect if you are having trouble to accept whether or not your relationship is abusive. Stop and think about how do the interactions that whenever you talk to your partner or your fiancé or your family friend or your family member or your friends or you, how do you always feel? How do they make you feel? You feel uncomfortable, you feel like you don't want to share with them, you feel like there's a sign, there's always a sign, there's something that you always feel whenever you're talking to any of those. So once, just think about that. Think about how do you, whenever you're talking to these people, could be your brother, could be your father, could be your sister, could be your boss at work, could be your workmate, could be your fiancé, could be your husband, could be your boyfriend or girlfriend, because this is across, it's not only in women or in men, it's across. How do you feel? So here are the signs. If you feel wounded, if you feel frustrated, if you feel confused, misunderstood, depressed, anxious, or worthless, anytime you interact, chances are high that your relationship is emotionally abusive. If you feel wounded, frustrated, confused, misunderstood, depressed, anxious, or worthless, chances are high that you're emotionally abused. Not every time that you, not everyone will feel all these. You might get like 2 or 3 or even might feel all of them. But like I said, chances are high that you're emotionally abused. And like I said, it is something that one will take time, will hardly accept. You get? So it is you still who will know what you're feeling. Me, you might talk to me and I tell you that you're going through an emotional abuse because I've ever been there. You're emotionally abused because I've ever been there. But if you yourself don't accept it, then I'll not convince you. You get my point? So everything starts with you. How do you feel? You will talk to me briefly, you will talk to me, or you will tell me something and I'll tell you what I feel or what I know, because I was in a situation whereby I would feel what I've mentioned, and I know it took me time. It really took me time to realize or to accept that I was emotionally abused. Because most of the time, especially when it is a relationship, when you're in a relationship, most of the time we are so in love. I'll not say that don't be in love. Be in love, but don't lose yourself. I'll not say don't fight over your relationship, or like you want to keep your relationship or your marriage or your what, but at the same time, don't lose yourself. So how do you feel? I will leave that question to you, because me, I cannot answer that. I don't know how you feel. I've given you the signs, so you need to figure them out. You need to figure yourself out and know how you feel exactly. Now, don't fall for this trap. It's not that bad. It's not that serious. You get my point. Don't fall for that trap. It's not that bad. It's not that serious. Don't underlook their behaviors. Everyone deserves to be treated equally. Everyone deserves to be treated equally. So don't fall for this, like no, since it has not involved physical fight, then let me continue. No, don't. At the end of the day, it is you who is suffering, who is being hurt, who is in pain. For them, they are not. You get? So don't fall for that. Emotional abusive people tend to display a lot. They tend to display a lot. Unrealistic expectations, like making unreasonable demands of you. They have these unreasonable demands. They always demand things. They always have something that they are demanding from you, the victims. They are the ones. They are the ones doing what they're doing. You at the receiving end, but at the end of that day, they still have demands they are making from you, who is at the receiving end. So be aware of them. Being dissatisfied, no matter how hard you try or how much you give, they are ever dissatisfied. No matter how hard you try, no matter how hard you try or how much you give in, they're ever dissatisfied. Those are them. Those are the emotional abusers. Expecting you to put everything aside to meet their needs. Expecting you to put everything aside to meet their needs. It's always about them first. It's always about them first. Then you figure out yourself. Criticizing you for not completing tasks according to their standards. According to their standards. Hey, criticizing you not finishing their tasks. Now we are at work. Like I said, it's everywhere. Now we are at work. If you have this boss who is always criticizing because what you've done is not up to their standards, that particular boss of yours, and I'll not comment more. If you know, you know. Demanding that you name exact date, time, when discussing things that upset you. And when you cannot do this, they may dismiss event as if it never happened. You have to mention date. If it was on 21st of January 1999, it should be 21st January 1999. At this particular time, either midnight or noon, or you have to have everything here. If you don't, then that event never happened. That's how they are. They have those tricks. They have those I don't know. You have to mention everything. Date, time, if possible, where, all that. You have to. If you don't have that, then that event never happened. Invalidate you. They invalidate you. Undermining, dismissing your reality. Undermining, dismissing your reality. Your reality is never there, but theirs is there. They always undermine your reality because for them what they know is what they know. For you it is no, it's not there. You get my point? Refuse to define your feelings by trying to define how you should feel. For them, they always like your feelings, how you feel is no, it is, you're not supposed to be feeling that way. I'll give an example. If you feel like you hurt, or if he has done something and you feel like you've been hurt, you're not supposed to feel that way. No, there's the way you're supposed to be feeling, because that's they are defining the way you're supposed to feel for you. You're not supposed to feel that way. No. So this is how these people are. This is how they are. Accusing you of being too sensitive, too emotional, or crazy. Hey, like I said, I experienced this. So when I try to put this down so that I'm able to remember. Other than that, if I just keep getting things from my head, I'll forget. And I may not share everything because I don't think that I put everything down here. I might not be able to, to finish everything, but I'm just giving you like what these people do. I'll repeat that point because it somehow talks a lot. Accusing you of being too sensitive, too emotional, or crazy. Now they start calling you, you're too sensitive. Whenever they do something that now you're too sensitive, or you're too emotional, or you're crazy. Those are that's how they are. Those are the words that might use. Refusing to acknowledge or accept your opinions or ideas as valid. They will never accept anything that you say to them. They will never. Your ideas are always invalid. They don't like. Your ideas are never valid at all. Hey. Requiring you to explain how you feel over and over. Over and over. You have to explain yourself how you feel. You have to explain to them how you feel over and over. If you're feeling bad, yes, you're feeling bad. I'm feeling. You have to explain yourself over and over. If you're experiencing all these, just know that this is what they normally do. You're emotionally abused. For them, they choose chaos. Starting arguments for the sake of arguing. Even if something small, something that does not really require an argument, they will start from there. They will just find, even if you see this pen, okay, it's supposed to be your cover. If you find like this, maybe somehow, they will start from there. Something small. They'll start from there. Those are the emotional abusers. Making confusing and contradicting statements. They are good at that. They'll make confusing and contradicting statements. They are good at that. Having drastic mood changes or sudden emotion outbursts. Within a minute, this person is laughing. You're fine. You're laughing. You're jazzing. You're chatting. You're chilling. Within a blink of an eye, maybe you have mentioned something that the modes are gone, completely gone. You ask yourself, wow, what did I do now? Like I said with the victims, you always have that. You always ask yourself, what did I do wrong? You always blaming yourself. Emotional abuser people use emotional blackmail, e.g., manipulating and controlling by making you feel guilty. They always make you feel guilty, as if everything started with you. Make you feel like you always feel guilty, even when like they always make you feel guilty, like make you feel like you are the problem. Everything starts with you, from you. You get my point? That's what emotional abusers do. Humiliating you in public or in private. Now these abusers, they will do that. They are, for them, they like, when it comes to your mental health, they don't want to know. So they will humiliate you either in public or in private. Using your fears. Remember what I said. Using your fears, values, compassion to control you or the situation. Using your fears. Because you love this person and they know you love them, someone will come to you and do this, or if not, me and you, what do you have to do? You have to obey and do as they say, because you don't want to lose them. They are using your fears. They know your fears, and they always know. They know what you stand for, your values. They know. They will use those to control you. They know what your compassion, like, they have you at the tips of their fingers. Exaggerating your flaws or pointing them out in order to deflect attention or to avoid taking responsibility of their poor choices or mistakes. We all know no one is perfect. No one is perfect. But for them, they are perfect. Emotional abusers, for them, they are perfect. Now, they will use all your flaws to control you, to exaggerate. Like, someone would say, this one is, there's those things that you find yourself doing, not because you want, but because the situation is forcing you to. Denying that an event took place or lying about it. Whatever upset you, maybe previously or sometime back, that never happened. For them, that never happened. It never happened. Punishing you by withholding affection or giving you silent treatment. Silent treatment. I know. You might not know. We shall talk about silent treatment. There's being silenced and there's silent treatment. Those two different. You might be in an argument and you decide to be silent. And maybe once you cool down, you come back and talk about whatever was happened so that you resolve that thing. But it's what they call silent treatment. Silent treatment is different. That particular person, that the abuser, is a tactic they use for you not ever to say anything. Like, even though you want to say something, they always silence you. So they give that, like, shut up. So that is a sign. They will refuse to talk to you. They will withdraw their affections. They will withdraw their everything from you as a partner. And once they do that, that is a silent treatment. That is a different thing. That is very, very common in relationships, in marriages. That one at work might not be there. In relationships, in marriages. So it is something that most of us have experienced and are still experiencing. Though might think that we mistake it with being silent. Decide maybe to be silent during that argument, and maybe decide to say, let me just keep quiet so that maybe we can cool off this argument. You get? But with that, remember that you can always come back and talk about that. But this silent treatment is different. So we shall talk about that as well in the next video. I will talk about more about the silent treatment in the next video. So, emotional abusive people act as superior. For them, they act superior. Like I said, for them, they are perfect. They don't do mistakes. They are perfect. Like, let me use that word. They are perfect. So they are superiors. Doubting everything you say and attempting to prove you wrong. They will always attempt to prove you wrong. Not that attempt. They will always do that. They always do that. Blaming you for their mistakes and shortcomings. Now, they'll tell you something, and once you do it, now they start blaming you. If it doesn't come out the way maybe they expected it, now they blame you for their mistakes. Get my point? Treating you like inferior. Treating you like inferior. telling you that your opinion, ideas, values, and thoughts are stupid. Someone will tell you to point blank, like, that's stupid. Seriously, you can't even. It's either stupid or illogical or don't make sense. They don't make sense. What you're saying doesn't make sense. For you, your whatever you say, your opinions, they don't make sense. Your ideas are not logic. You know all those that all that those are emotional abusers. For them, don't acting like they are always right, know what is best and as matter. They always act like they're always, they know that they know it all. They know it all. They know what is best and they are smart. For you, what you know, it doesn't. Emotionally abusive people attempt to control and isolate you, e.g., controlling who you see or spend time with, including friends and family. They want to know who you see, who you spend time with. If you're going to say, I'm going to say my friend so and so. So, now, who is that? Huh? No, you're not supposed to go there. You can't go there. Those are emotional abusers. Monitoring your text messages and social media platforms, etc. Name it. A message will come. Your phone rings. Message alert. Who is that? You go on social media, we have friends, of course, like on Facebook, you post something, and maybe sometimes we have these crazy friends of ours. Not everyone who says I love you, they really love you. No, it's not everyone says I like you, they genuinely like you. Some people are just stubborn, some people are just, everyone has this crazy friend. You get, everyone has this crazy friend. Not that they are crazy in a bad way, but they are just crazy in a good way, that there are people who just like putting things, not necessarily in a bad way. You get, I'll just go on my Facebook page and I post a photo, and someone will come and like and say, hey sweetheart, you look nice, sweetheart. Does that make me to be that person's sweetheart? No, it doesn't. But because these emotional people, they don't, they always assume things, because for them, they, like I said, they always have to control you. So whatever these people post, now it becomes an issue. You start from there. Arguments will start from there. Who is this? Who? All that. Accusing you of cheating and being jealous of outside relationship. Now, I'll give an example. This is a person, in most cases, these emotional abusers, they tend to be close to your so-called friends. I'll just give an example. I have a friend, and maybe I'll introduce my friend to my boyfriend. Now, all of a sudden, my boyfriend and my friend are tight. They are tight. They are friends. They are now here, buddies. Oh, before you know it, you know already. You already know, because you have experienced it, because you're experiencing it, because they are doing it. You get my point? I don't have to mention it. Now they start saying this, my girlfriend is cheating on me, my girlfriend is jealous of me being friends to her friends, my boyfriend is jealous of me being friends. But in the actual sense, when you the so-called boyfriend, girlfriend, you're doing shit behind, both of you and the so-called friend, then now you start saying that these people, you start now accusing them of cheating, you start accusing them of being jealous of your relationship, blah blah blah. But in the actual sense, when you're doing something wrong, treating you like possession or property. Treating you like possession or property. It's as if they own you. You know, like owning this book. This book is mine. So now they will be like, you'll be like this book, or like this building. That building is for so and so. We all know that property belongs to so. So now you as a human being, or as a fiancé, or as a girlfriend, or as a boyfriend, now you be a property. They start owning you. They'll possess you like as if you're a property, as if you just something that you can just go and get from somewhere.